Proxima B is a lot like planet Earth. Located about 4 light-years away, the planet is in many ways our closest cousin. However, while for years we received no real news from Proxima B, in late 2020, NASA detected artificial light coming from its surface, and it is this light that may indicate the existence of an advanced civilization living right next to us. To be clear, this light, which has been dubbed BLC-1, is still being tested by scientists, and it may just be an echo from our own civilization, which in all likelihood is the case. However, if BLC-1 is in fact a signal from Proxima B, then there is a very real chance that it is coming from an alien civilization. For some context, Proxima B is one of the few planets that we know of that would be able to facilitate advanced life. Orbiting around the star Proxima Centauri, it is about 20 times closer to it than the Earth is to the Sun. But since Proxima Centauri is 90% smaller and 20 times dimmer, it is believed that life could still be sustained there. However, unlike Earth, it is believed that Proxima B is tidally locked with its star, meaning that one side is permanently facing the star while the other is permanently facing away from it. In other words, on one side it is always day and the other side always night. While this may seem like a negative, it may just be the reason why we are seeing lights from the planet. You see, if an advanced civilization does live on Proxima B, scientists think that they would be far more comfortable living on the dark side than on the light side. And as a result, there is a fair chance that they would use large orbital mirrors to reflect light from the star to their side of the planet, and if they were to do so, these artificial lights would possibly be detectable by our most advanced telescopes. Even if scientists don't see these lights, the orbital mirrors and any other satellites that may have been launched would also be useful. This is because these mirrors and satellites also reflect light and have their own heat signatures. And so if Proxima B is surrounded by an amount that is similar to the quantity surrounding the Earth, there is a pretty fair chance that they would be visible. Even if this is not the case, there are other ways in which we could determine whether or not life exists on this distant planet. For example, any carbon emissions or nuclear fallout that could have been caused by the beings on Proxima B would also create artificial light in the atmosphere. And while it should be noted that these can be caused by non-artificial things, such as regular space debris of comet impacts, the existence of this type of light would still be an indicator that the chances of life on the planet were high. There is also a chance that the life forms on the planet began living on the bright side and then migrated to the darker side, creating lighting infrastructure along the way in order to brighten up their side of the planet. However, the more urban and developed the planet is, the more likely that this light would be detectable, meaning that any civilization that is not at least around as advanced as ours may not have a bright enough footprint for us to detect. However, our ability to interact with Proxima B is limited by our technology, and at the moment the single best piece of tech at our disposal is the James Webb Space Telescope. By far our most sophisticated telescope, it is the successor to the Hubble Space Telescope and stands apart for several reasons. After all, its 6.5-meter long mirror is far larger than its predecessor, while its instruments on board are able to see back in time by as much as 13.5 billion years, which is so long ago that it was around the time of the Big Bang. As you might expect, this type of technology is pretty elite and by most calculations should be enough to detect artificial light on Proxima B, assuming that the civilization there is highly advanced. You see, if the artificial light illumination on the dark side of Proxima B reaches 5% of that of the light side, the James Webb Telescope could detect it with 85% certainty. And if that figure goes up to 9%, it would rise to 95% certainty. Now, while 5% might not sound like a lot, the reality is that this is far more than it seems at first glance. After all, despite all of our build-up here on Earth, our illumination is just 0.001% of reflected solar illumination. And so, if the civilization on Proxima B were to be as bright as us, it's likely that they would not reach the 9% or 5% figure, and therefore be difficult, if not impossible, to detect. However, there is still hope. That's because while the James Webb Space Telescope may not be the perfect piece of technology, there are two other telescopes that may soon be able to fill in the gap. Known as Lumiere and HabEx, these are the next generation of space telescope and are currently under development, and according to Dr. Thomas Beatty of the Department of Astronomy at the University of Wisconsin, these telescopes should be strong enough to get the job done. Set to be completed by 2035, Lumiere and HabEx will be able to detect movement on planets that are as much as 9.75 light-years away, which is pretty impressive given the fact that Proxima B is located 4.25 light-years away. More specifically, the goal for these telescopes is to be able to photograph and specifically catalogue exoplanets across various far-off solar systems, and in order to test their potential, Beatty used virtual versions of Lumiere and HabEx. In essence, he created a model where he tried to simulate the amount of light on Proxima B that could be expected to emit at different levels of urbanization, and used the projected capabilities of Lumiere and HabEx to see whether or not these telescopes would be able to accurately view Proxima B. What he found was that if Proxima B were to have city lights that were 12 times brighter than those on Earth, Lumiere and HabEx would be able to detect the artificial light in as little as 300 hours. While this 12 times figure may seem improbable, the reality is that Earth is expected to be that lit up by the mid-22nd century. Therefore, Proxima B would have to be about 100 to 125 years more advanced than our civilization on Earth in order to be visible. Better still, if Proxima B is an ecumenopolis, or in other words a planet completely covered by urban areas, Dr. Beatty determined that the light would be so strong that even the current James Webb Space Telescope would be powerful enough to detect it. However, given the fact that just 0.5% of the Earth's surface is covered with cities, the chances of this super sci-fi-like scenario being the case is rather slim. Yet the question still remains: what does all of this mean to us on planet Earth? Well, for one, if Proxima B were as advanced as we hope it is, then in all likelihood the beings there have more advanced technology than we do. If this is the case, there is a good chance that they found out about us a long time ago, and this fact could help conspiracy theorists make the case that aliens could have had contact with Earth centuries ago. While this possibility is admittedly a bit outlandish, a more plausible situation is that this would incentivize humans to send probes and communications to the planet in an attempt to make a connection, and the information we gather could help us to improve our own planet. However, the most likely possibility is the sober reality that nothing, or at least nothing as advanced as us, lives on Proxima B. If that is the case, there is little we can do for the time being, as our technology simply isn't strong enough to either conclusively see if there is unadvanced life or to do anything about it if there is. As such, while Proxima B seems like a very interesting planet, there are endless possibilities and many unknowns. And while the planet is promising, it could also be a giant flop. So, what do you guys think? Are the lights on Proxima B coming from a bustling planet-wide city, or are they the result of a simple echo from our own planet? Let us know what you think in the comments down below, and if you want to be the first in the know when the results do come in, make sure to subscribe to us, turn on those notifications, and that'll make sure you're informed as soon as the news comes out. Thanks for watching, and until next time.